Back in high school, I was heavily involved with making short films for my film class. However, when I entered high school, I heard that only juniors and seniors could join the class. But for my sophomore year, they were finally opening it up to underclassmen, so I joined immediately. I always had a fondness for making videos, especially videos with shitty special effects and cringy humor, so this was very exciting for me. Little did I know, though, that in the 3 years of being in this film class, I would have made a collection of films that some may consider to be the worst things ever created by a human being. It's to a level that will make any future review I do on anyone else's work seem pointless, because how could someone say that another person's film or show is bad when they themselves had made such horseshit? I do always say that it doesn't matter what you yourself have done, because you still have the right to criticize other people's work, but goddamn, I think there might be an exception here. Because I did so many short films back in high school, I will be splitting these into multiple videos. I don't know how many, but let's just say it's going to be in between 10 and 15 videos. What you're also going to notice about these films is that there isn't much improvement from one film to the next. One film might hit far greater than the next one because I was such an egotistical asshole that I straight up disregarded everything I was taught because I thought I was better than my teacher from day one. Just because I made horrible web videos with shitty lightsaber effects didn't make me the superior filmmaker to my teacher and my fellow students. It just made me look like a wannabe filmmaker with no true vision. It really wasn't until my senior year that I attempted to make better films, but looking back, they're still about on the same level as my sophomore year projects, but at least I was trying to take what I learned and improve on it, but I just did such a shitty job at it. Now to kickstart this series, we're going back to August of 2015, where my film group, which included Andre, Hector, and Leo, filmed the absolute masterpiece entitled The Chase. The Chase was a written prompt that my film teacher gave the entire class, in which someone is being chased by another person the entire time until that person catches up to them, and then you make up your own ending. Most of the projects that were shown were played for laughs, with it usually ending with a character handing the other person a pencil that they borrowed from class or something of that nature, but we wanted to go the more serious route. We wanted the entire class to know not to fuck with us. We want to be taken as legitimate filmmakers. And looking back, while we may have produced a slightly better project than some of the others, and also for some reason we got a round of applause from the class when we showcased it, it is still so fucking uninspiring to watch. We went the ultimate over-the-top dramatic route, and believe it or not, it was actually worse before. But we'll get to that soon, I promise. When we were discussing who would play which character, it was decided that me, the fat fuck of the group, should be the one who's doing most of the running in the film. I don't know if it was to add some comedy, if my friends were worried about my health and wanted me to exercise, or a combination of the two. But for fuck's sakes, why am I the one who is running in this film? I do think I have rambled on far too long, and I think it's time for me to unleash my first ever video project, The Chase. I fucking remember that kid, and so badly, I wanted to punch him in his stupid face. We were on a bit of a time crunch, and we had to get this shot filmed or we were absolutely fucked, and the only shot that had me running out of the track was this shot. The kid saw our camera and sprinted towards us and decided to run into the frame, and I'm honestly glad he didn't run too fast or my fat ass would have pummeled him. But at the same time, he kinda deserves it for ruining our fucking masterpiece. Because I was so much of a fat fuck, we had to speed these clips to make it seem like I'm actually being chased and not run at the speed that most humans walk. What I can say was the only cool thing about this film is this part right here. We had this huge audio library that our teacher bought for us to use, and there was a track on it that was very dark and ambient, and it sounded absolutely perfect, but we had already edited the visuals before editing in the audio. To our amazement, this ambient track had a huge boom in the beginning of it, and it just so happened to sync up perfectly to the reveal of the mysterious figure. It's one of the few times I genuinely look back fondly on my past work. However, originally it was going to be totally different. Well, not totally different. I still die, but we were going to originally use a blood splatter effect that I got from an Action Essentials pack from Video Copilot. The results were, to put it mildly, just fucking abysmal. I spent about 30 minutes in class trying to make this work for the video, but it wasn't until Leo just suggested we cut to black to finally put me out of my misery and making this shit actually work. And that was The Chase, and for a very first true short film, it wasn't that bad. However, when we first shared the project with our class, my ego was at a level I couldn't even fathom. I genuinely thought that I was going to be the next big thing in cinema. I was going to change the way movies were made, and it was all thanks to a little 1 minute and 30-second film to give me that push in the right direction. However, as you'll see in these upcoming videos, little improvement was done, and my inflated ego looked worse and worse every single day in that class. But if you think that's the end of The Chase, then think again, for it was my junior year and I needed to take an extra class, and the only class I could take was a teacher's assistant spot in my film teacher's beginning video class. While in the class, the teacher paired me up with a kid named John, since he joined the class late and didn't have a group at the time. We went on to make The Chase 2.0, which is literally a beat-for-beat copy of the first one, but with an interesting twist. Oh, the cringe! The cringe! You remember when I said I was in love with shitty special effects? Well, it was finally time to use these shitty special effects and put them to good use. Sadly, the version that John turned in didn't have this, and it was just me choking him out at the end. But the version I made for just complete shits and giggles was just a big what the fuck of a video. I think overall the first version of the project is better, but if I'm looking for a video to make me seriously contemplate my life, I go with this one. And that's the saga of The Chase. Sadly, my senior year didn't involve me being a teacher's assistant again, because if I had to do another Chase project, I don't know how I could top what I did in my junior year. But with all that being said, thank you for watching the first part of this mini-series where I look back at all my short films from high school. Join me in part 2 where I take a look at the magnum opus of what the fuckery, The Note.